Wall Street Memes Casino,
I'm fine.
and Sportsbook.
Well, I just decided on the faux chicken with the chicken wings, so I'm
I thought you was going to go healthy.
it's healthy. It said it was healthy. It said it was protein packed. It's kind of healthy, isn't it? It's like that Eddie Abu. Have you seen him? With the eggs.
Full of shit.
The eggs. I want all the eggs. Love him.
Eddie Abu or Misfits?
I love him. Well, he's about 80, isn't he? According to him.
I mean, can't fault the shape he's in.
Yeah, he's in decent nick. Yeah, 100%.
Maybe one for Callum and Mams.
Eggs.
Do you know how many fight weeks you've done now?
Ever
Yeah, ever. Is it something you guys have been told or kept count of? Or?
in my life?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've been in kind of
As promoter.
I don't know.
I'm just wondering if like you start a fight week and it feels the same now because you've done so many.
It's always different. I mean, we're in York Hall. I was thinking that earlier, actually. I was like, what could we do as a good PR sort of stunt? You know, like I was watching that Esmeralda. Did you see Esmeralda, the show, Esmeralda on Netflix? And they had like a tank going down the street as a stunt. Did you see that? Yeah. Could we not do something mad? You know, like, I don't know, with a drone or elephants or, I don't know, lions and tigers. But then you just end up at the York Hall and you just do the normal fight week, don't you? It's always the same.
I thought you and Callum would be the perfect people to come up with something fucking mental.
I've got a, yeah. It's like, oh yeah, I expect fireworks. Like, it's like when you ask a fighter, how's your camp? What's he going to say? Oh no, it was terrible. Wife left me, lost my house, my dog died, and no, it's like,
And I've lost my punch power.
Yeah, exactly. You know, they're going to say, oh, it's the best fight week, best camp of my life. It's always, you know, what you're going to expect fireworks on Friday night. There you go.
I've already been told to expect some fireworks on Friday night.
It's going to be a really terrible, boring show, and all my guys are going to lose. Hopefully not. No, it's going to be a great show. Charlie Edwards is back on the road for a world title. We've got Tom Whelan, very exciting talent, in a 6-rounder. His first 6-rounder, only 19 years old. And we got Christian Fetti making his debut. He sold about 400 tickets. So North London will be very well represented in there. Sold out crowd. And expect fireworks.
After all that, that's what we ended up with. Obviously, Charlie is, I guess, a bit of a forgotten man in British boxing. But 100% with the name Charlie Edwards, the fact he's a former world champion, there's definitely a place for him at the top table.
Well, 100%. He talks the talk, he looks the part, and he can fight. You know, he was a world champ early on in his career. Moved up a couple of weight classes now, exciting weight class. And there's no reason he can't go on and win another world title.
He's adamant that Paul Butler is a fight that Joe Gallagher will not take. Obviously, he used to train with Joe. Charlie and Paul have sparred various rounds. It's a fight I mentioned as 2 domestic bantamweights, and he said it's a fight that he'd love, but a fight that Joe Gallagher would completely draw a line under.
Well, you know me, I'm Switzerland, aren't I? Neutral. Listen, everyone loves a domestic fight, especially if the stakes are high. Paul Butler's a very good fighter. You know, there's no reason to not make it at some point.
It's definitely a fight I would like to see.
There is a reason, but it's not, you know, not from my side.
I guess he's got Friday night to deal with first. There's always a danger because, yes, he will be a big favourite to win this fight. And he's been in harder, more difficult fights. But we've seen it before. Someone gets overlooked, next thing you know, they get chinned, and then your whole plan's up in the air.
It's also, you know, he's going in small championship level against a tough guy. Guy's coming to win. He's sold a few tickets as well, coming over from France. It's always a good sign when the opponent starts selling tickets because that means that you don't want to get beaten in front of your friends, do you? So he's obviously invited his mates along going, watch, I'm going to beat former world champion on Friday night. So you never know. And this is his first proper sort of fight at this weight, correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh, so there's going to be some French in York Hall on Friday night, so fingers crossed. Fingers crossed it's the English who come out on top.
I'm assuming they're French, but you know, you never know.
All we can say is expect fireworks, right? I've got to ask you about Chris Eubank and Terence Crawford. What was all that noise about?
I didn't come from me. Why are you looking at me?
It must have been something that you guys had discussed, or when it was first mentioned. Is it something you were previously aware of?
No, I don't know how it sort of got out there. I mean, Terence is trained by the same trainer, so it'd be quite awkward on that sort of. I don't know which corner he'd pick. Probably Terence's because he's been with him longer, I guess. Or would they flip a coin? I don't know. I don't know how it'd work logistically. But no, there's no truth in that.
Where do we stand with Chris in his next fight?
Look, there's going to be an announcement imminently. Everyone will be very excited by it, and that's all I can say right now.
Is it a world title fight?
Wait, actually, expect fireworks. There you go.
Is it a world title fight?
Expect fireworks. Fireworks at the world title fight. I'm not saying anymore.
There's nothing you can give us.
Every time I can't say anything, I'm just going to say expect fireworks. No, not much more. You can ask my brother. You can probe at him tomorrow at the weigh-in.
Because I saw rumours as well of, obviously, Fondora won the WBO title at 154. If he's to vacate that belt, I know there's a chance that Terence Crawford and Josh Kelly could be called for the WBO world title. So I don't know, Wasserman and Terence Crawford are looking likely to at some point maybe cross paths in 2024.
Yeah. Look, that's a big fight. You know, Josh is very highly ranked there, and also with the IBF. I can't remember. Is it Murat Salev beat Kulkai at the weekend? And that was the number ones and twos fighting for the vacant title. Now it's number 3 and 4 Lundy and Kelly next in line. So that's also another angle. But Josh he's ready for the big nights. He's had a hard road back, and I think he's done enough now to deserve those fights.
I mean, he looked brilliant in December. Obviously, that was 4 months ago. Does he need something to be sorted quite quickly so he can just kind of keep that momentum? Because he's already been through the career stage where it's been a bit stop-start, and I guess that's one thing you guys don't want again.
No, we don't want that again. You know, obviously losing to Avanesian at that stage of his career was a total disaster. We were very happy to sign him. We saw the potential in him, and I think you know, boxing's crying out for someone like Josh Kelly to follow up. You know, the likes of AJ, Fury, Eubank, you know, guys who are not at the end of their careers, but maybe have 3-4 years left. You know, so where do we go? Where does boxing go from there? And it needs stars. You've got the likes of Dalton Smith coming through. You've got you know, Adam Azim coming through. Very exciting prospects. But then you've got you know, Josh Kelly as well, who's ready-made almost.
Do you worry about the post-Fury and AJ era?
Always, yeah. Keeps me up at night. It really does, because
Should British boxing worry about it? Because, I mean, they are two of the biggest fighters we have ever had. And when they go, I guess there will be some form of decline in the interest in boxing.
I don't like the idea of pay-per-view fighters, but they are pay-per-view fighters. There's no doubting that. Whoever they fight is going to be on pay-per-view. But outside of those two, it's very hard to see anyone else, correct me if I'm wrong, in the UK who'd just be a standalone pay-per-view fighter. And I think that's what, you know, before it's too late, and if they do retire, which they will at some stage because they deserve to, you know, where do we go? And that's what us as promoters should be looking to the future for. And I think Josh Kelly's one of those names that can you know, he's exciting, he can talk, he looks good, and he can fight. So he's one of those guys who could follow in those footsteps.
Does Josh Kelly end 2024 with a world title?
Yeah. Expect fireworks. Yeah.
I wish I'd never said that. No. You mentioned. No, someone did. You mentioned about fighters kind of with that pay-per-view model. Conor Benn was undoubtedly on his way to that. Do you think the last 18 months have kind of scuppered the potential of that in Conor Benn at all? Because obviously public perception has changed.
If anything, it might have flipped it around and put more attention on him. He's been out the ring in the UK for a couple of years now, almost. So that, I think if anyone, deserves to fight in the UK now, I don't know what's gone on there, but we're not getting answers, and he sort of, we don't know what's going on, and he doesn't either. He has a right to fight, and he's having to go to the US to do that. And I heard he's going to fight Ennis, which is a hard night's work.
What did you make of the British Boxing Board of Control and UKAD winning their appeal?
I don't really know the ins and outs of it, to be honest with you.
Have you found it quite, I don't want to use the word draining, but when you're in boxing and you're kind of not talking about what goes on in the ring sometimes, and you're talking about too much behind the scenes, I guess it can be quite a drain at times.
Yeah, I don't think there's any other sport where you're like, oh yeah, you see the viewing figures, do you see what that promoter said, do you see what that promoter says? But I guess that's because we don't have something like the Premier League around us that, will sort of deflect that pressure away from us. But yeah, it's sometimes I just switch the social media off because you know how poisonous it can be. Listen, it's a great tool at some times, but it's also one of the worst tools in the world.
Have we drawn a line completely under Conor and Chris? 'Cause I can imagine that's what your social media entails a lot of the last couple of years, is people banging on at you about, are we actually ever going to get Conor Benn and Chris Eubank Jr.?
Bit bored of it, to be honest, the talk of it. I'd love it to happen, but kind of resigned to it not happening for in the imminent future.
Let's talk about another Eubank, Harlem. How quickly was that fight made?
No, it was very, very sort of quick. Harlem deserves this opportunity. I think he's been built up very well. He looked great against Schwarzkopf. And look, it's a big fight.
Are you disappointed that kind of the big step you're on about for Harlem isn't one that lands on Channel 5?
Yeah, of course, but you have to be realistic as well. And yeah, that's the reality of it.
Without trying to cause trouble, who would you say is right in the Eddie Hearn and Ben Shalom situation when it comes to Adam Azim and Dalton Smith? Well, are they both right?
I think when you win a European title, you're going to put a target on your back. Yeah. So you're the European champ. That means you're the best in Europe. That means you should face the best in Europe. And when someone becomes mandatory for you, you got to fight them. But on the other hand, listen, it's a great fight with Harlem as well. But yeah, it's hard to, if it was, I can't say too much, but I would like to see that fight down the line at some point, or I'd like to see Harlem against Dalton at some point as well.
Do you think it throws a bit of disrespect, or perhaps Harlem might feel it's throwing disrespect his way when they go, oh, we're not ready for Dalton Smith, but we'll take Harlem?
Yeah, 100%.
Is he going to go into this with a proper bee in his bonnet?
I think so. I think it does shine a little bit of disrespect there. I was comparing it to Canelo against, again, shoot me for mentioning Canelo and Mayweather, but it's just a well-known example of Mayweather taking Canelo at the right stage of his career. I think if he'd waited a couple of years on that fight, it could have been the other way round. Mayweather might have lost.
Wall Street Memes Casino,
I'm fine.
and Sportsbook.